Hello, hello, hello. Today is another cooking vlog. It's actually starting to get cold. I feel like the temperature dropped overnight. Oh, wow, there's already 2 people here. How's everyone doing? I'm making dinner, as I said in the title. I'm hungry. I didn't really eat that much today. Lately, I've just not been really having like the taste for any snacks, and I don't really. There's like some food options I could bring to work, but I don't know. Trying to bring like a full meal is kind of a hassle, so I usually end up just snacking, and I haven't been wanting any of my usual snacks. So I am cooking. Ooh, what would be good is some zucchini. Let me do that. Some zucchini and avocado. I really hope everyone is doing well. Today at work, I was sneezing a couple times, and my coworker is like, "Be careful not to get sick." Which reminded me, like, it's cold and flu season, and it's starting to feel like it. It's weird. Today just became whoa cold. Oh. Cause suddenly, like on the way home from work, I'm seeing people wearing coats and jackets, scarves. There's a guy this morning with a lumberjack hat, which I don't think it's lumberjack hat cold, but maybe it was a style thing. If you've been watching the channel for a while, hello, how are you? You know I like to make zucchini in the oven, so that's what I'm gonna do. Pretty good, pretty good. As we talked about yesterday, it was kind of rainy on the way to work, but it didn't actually rain. Oh, thank you. Sometimes I forget. Usually I'm like in PJs or like around the house clothes whenever I stream. Unless I stream right after work, but I've been trying to get into the habit of like trying to get comfortable. I put my slippers on. The slippers kind of match my sweater. Or I don't know if you would call this a sweater or not. I got it at Uniqlo. Which Uniqlo is super popular in Japan, but I think they're trying to start being international. So maybe it's coming soon to a location near you. I don't know. I need to plan a shopping trip there. This is probably not the ideal place to put this, but it gets me closer to the camera so I can see, and it's like a stable surface. Putting some olive oil on the pan before I put all the zucchini in the oven. Actually, dinner is going to be pretty simple as far as assembling it today, because I chopped up not all, but a lot of the veggies already. And I'm going to do like a really simple protein. My husband went and got himself some like meat to have for his meal. I'm vegetarian if you're new. So whenever my husband wants something that's not vegetarian, he goes and gets it for himself, because I can't really cook non-vegetarian foods because I can't taste it as I'm cooking. So if you've seen One Piece and you see like Luffy eating like the meat on the stick, I think that's the texture my husband usually gets when I try and cook meat products. So we have a system that works. This garlic is tough to open, man. There we go. The weather change is making me want to like get like a pumpkin spice latte and ride the train out into like the forest where the trees have turned different colors. But yesterday I was watching a news like story. It's like translated from Japanese to English. And then like the interviews, they had like subtitles and stuff like that. And they were basically talking about bear attacks and how there's been an increase in bear attacks in Japan lately. And yeah, I guess like some caution to be careful because the bears, due to the summers being increasingly hot, it affects the bears' ability to eat and get food. And so the bears have been going to where the people are. So the story I saw, there's a tourist from Spain that got attacked. And my coworker showed me there's a runner from New Zealand that got attacked as well. But I think the bears are mainly just hungry. Maybe I should do a little more garlic than that. Turn the heat down. I feel like if I peel garlic in a hurry, it's a frustrating task. But if I like take my time and peel the garlic, it doesn't really feel inconvenient. And today I'm kind of just vibing with peeling it, so I don't really mind that it's kind of difficult to open. No, just turn the oven on. 250 seems reasonable. Since I already have the garlic out, I think I'm going to cut a little bit for my protein. Because I'm going to just do tofu for myself. Here's a big one. Just go back in the bag. I feel like this has been down here for a while. Should probably use this. Usually when I cook and it's for more than one person, I'm always like thinking about like the other person's taste preference and mine. Depending on how different the taste might be, then I might change the recipe a little bit. But since I'm not making protein for both my husband and myself, I'm gonna do like a sweet and sour style for the tofu because he seems to like more spicy stuff. So usually I don't do that style as much for him. Yesterday you're cold? Me too, a little bit. The jacket helps. Do you have like a nice comfy hoodie you can put on? Preferably one with fleece inside of it. Those are the best if you have one of those around. Oh, okay. What we working with? Also, if you don't have socks on, I find that can like help warm me up. Cause like usually, like I'm not a big sock girl because I grew up on the west coast of the US. So like most people just like wear sandals a lot, but living in colder places, I start wearing socks a lot more frequently. I think today they're like neon. I can't believe I'm flexible enough to get my leg on there. Okay, we got more than one thing right. Oh, these are t-shirt, long t-shirt. Oh, that sounds warm. That sounds really, really warm. I think if you have like at least 2 layers of everything on, and it sounds like you have more than that, it might be time to turn the heater on. Yeah, I would recommend turning the heater on if you can. Or if you have like a little space heater. Oh, I just got an idea. The heat is on? And you're still cold? If you're still cold with all of that on and the heater on, I think maybe maybe if you don't have to move around, I would recommend getting under your blanket and trying to see if you can get your dog to sit with you. Because if I can convince Moxie to sit still and stick my feet under her, it's very warm. What happened to your knees? Dang, girl. I'm measuring rice. That's what I'm doing. He's on the edge. Maybe he can be lured closer. But see, for me, like that's why I don't like the winter time as much as the summertime, I think. I don't know. In Japan, it's hard to pick like which can be like more challenging because the cold is like brutal, but the humidity is also brutal. So I don't know actually. Kind of hard to choose on that. He wants your apple juice. Has he tried it before? I'm surprised he wants that. Yes, okay. I always thought that dogs are the only pets that have like a sweet tooth and cats don't really care about sweets until we got Moxie. And Moxie will eat ice cream if you don't watch her. He likes everything sweet. Oh, you gotta watch those kinds of dogs. Evie had a thing for chocolate, and it got him rushed to the hospital once. Is that what it is? That's like the milk in the ice cream? I don't know. I just feel like Moxie is just greedy. But it was vegan. I forgot to add that. It was vegan ice cream. Cause I don't want to like expose like anybody's like locations or anything, but like if you live in Texas, because we moved to Japan from Texas, they have HEB, and HEB used to sell like a vegan mochi ice cream thing. It was like in a little ball, and then there's ice cream in the middle, and she would eat that. Yeah, she does. Um, the difference between vegan and vegetarian is that the vegan one would have the no animal products at all. So the vegan one would be made by like soy milk or like oat milk. I mean, probably you already know that. As far as like to cats, I don't know if cats can taste the difference though. Like Moxie doesn't seem to care, quite frankly. I've left like a plate. Yeah, I've left like a plate of food just sitting around, and Moxie will eat tofu from my plate. Yeah, it's like I used to be vegan. I used to be vegan before we moved to Japan, but in Japan, being vegetarian is like not as much of a thing. I'm not saying that a person could not be vegan or vegetarian and live in Japan. I'm simply saying it's pretty hard. It's not as convenient as living in the US. So in the US, I would eat like vegan yogurt, vegan cheese. Like there was no worries about like substituting stuff. Now I'm not vegan. So before moving to Japan, I was vegan for several years. And then when we moved to Japan, I started eating eggs, cheese, and milk, which are technically not vegan. So now I'm vegetarian. But if we move someplace else where being vegan is not such a challenge, I am definitely down to switch back. I haven't talked about it a ton on YouTube, or I think I talked about it like years ago, and then I deleted the video. But I have an inflammatory condition, and so eating plant based is helpful to eating plant based is helpful to manage my medical stuff. chocolate, chocolate milk, and strawberry milk and strawberry stuff. I mean, there's so many vegan alternatives. Like in the US, there's so many vegan alternatives that you really aren't missing anything. You just find a place that has a vegan version. Because like there's vegan cashew milk, soy milk, oat milk, almond milk. So like if you try like a milk substitute, you can just switch around until you find a style or a way that you like it. For me, as a kid, my family used to get goat milk a lot instead of cow's milk. We used to drink goat's milk sometimes, which I think is odd depending like for some people. Let me contextualize that. In Arizona, where I grew up, people thought it was strange, but I think in other places of the world, it's a lot more common. But I actually prefer the taste. If I was to have like an animal milk, I prefer the taste of goat milk to cow milk. So I definitely greatly prefer the taste of goat milk. So yeah, you just pick around till you find the flavor or style that you like. Mm. I'm not gonna read that comment out loud. I see what you said, but I'm not gonna read it out loud because I don't want to get into like your personal stuff publicly. But I think that's good that you found a solution that's like a little bit better, like more comfortable for you. Um, so that's good. Goat milk is nice. It tastes more grassy and it's more like creamy, I guess. But I prefer the taste. It tastes fresher. It tastes more natural. It also could be that it's like organic, high quality goat milk. Because even before I was vegetarian or vegan, my family was into eating really healthy because I don't think I ever talked about this on YouTube, but my mom passed away. She had breast cancer, and so because if you have ever had like a really sick friend or family member, a lot of times like the family will try and like rally around them and try and like change things up so that someone so the person feels better. I told you, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And see, it's thoughts like that that never really like I never really thought about or really worried about um when I was eating vegan. I'm sorry to hear that. It's a really awful medical condition. And like the fact that there's really not that much treatment makes it a lot worse. Yeah, I'm really, really sorry to hear that. Oh, I squeezed it too hard. I pressed way too hard on the lemon. I think one of the nice things about like family is that sometimes even when you don't get to spend a lot of time with them or you don't get to meet them at all, you sometimes inherit things from them that are like uniquely like yours, like out of your group. Like for example, I'm the only one in my family, like my immediate family, who's left-handed. And I wonder, like, maybe there's like a great great grandparent that is left-handed that I got that from that I never met, but I still have something from them. You know, I like to think that way at least. Yeah, I think honestly you are really fortunate to have siblings. I'm sorry that she had that experience. I don't know what I would do without my siblings. My siblings drive me nuts, but I think they make my life a lot better. And like if ever like I'm really really having a rough time, they're probably the first people that I would call. And as so exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. And my dad used to tell me when I was a little girl, like, hug your brothers and sisters as much as possible and tell them that you love them and never tell each other that you hate. You know, when you get mad, like, I hate you. You took my stuff. You broke my thing, whatever. Siblings usually are. Siblings usually are. I've gotten into my fair share of squabbles with my siblings, and then now I live thousands of miles away from them. I would love to squabble with my siblings right now. I mean, maybe not squabble with them, but you know, it's just not the same when you live really far away. So I've seen some families do that where, like, as a punishment, if you refuse to get along or you can't settle your differences, you have to wear the shirt of forgiveness, and it's like an oversized shirt or something. I've seen some people do that. My family never did that. Um, I don't know how that would have gone over, but I know for sure I appreciate all of my siblings now as an adult a lot more than I did as a kid. Because as a kid, you get to spend limitless time with your siblings. They're always like down the hall or across the room. But as an adult, it's like, you know, you might end up in a completely different time zone across the world. Yeah, write a letter apologizing. I don't know if I ever had to write a letter to my siblings, but I remember one time I got into an argument with my cousin, and like she went and complained. I think she went and complained to her mom, and I went and complained to my dad, and I was like, it's not even fair. Like, I feel like she's just being like dramatic, and like it's basically her fault that the argument started. And my dad was like, blessed are the peacemakers. If you can resolve the situation and have some humility and it's not that deep, then that's what you should do. So I ended up apologizing to her. And I don't even remember what we were arguing about. It wasn't even that deep. You have to write 100 things you love about them. For your siblings, that should be easy. I mean, when you're mad, when you're angry at your sibling, I'm sure it's hard to think of 100 things that you love about them. But when you're not mad, I'm sure there's lots of things that you love about your siblings. Like things that you get to do with them, or jokes that only they get. Now that's not nice. That in my family, that would be like a fast track way to get in trouble. To be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get mine, so I'm gonna try and like create like a tall tale. Yeah, that it definitely gets you in the doghouse for sure. Out, out. But see, that's the other thing in life is like sometimes people will not always believe you when you stand up for yourself. And that's not always your responsibility. Like, usually it's not. Like, your job is just to tell the truth. And, like, if somebody else doesn't believe you, like, that is their own issue. Because you did what you were supposed to do, you told the truth. I also think sometimes it's hard to be impartial, like to not pick a side or not try to project like, oh, I think this person's right when you know like personalities or something like that, you know? But like I said, you had integrity, you told the truth. That's all you can do is tell the truth. And you're ultimately not responsible for other people's actions because you can only, the only person you can control is yourself. Hi, what's up? If that happens again, like if that happens again, like again, it hasn't happened in years. But if it does, I'm flying to Japan. I think StreamYard it should be linked. It shows as linked on my thing. I don't know if I can or not. Oh, wait. Somebody on YouTube requested that I link the StreamYard. I'm not sure why, but I did. It's probably easier if I put the comments on the stage. I am well. How are you? Let me turn the comments on. You are in a fish tank because the pan is making a lot of noise. Let me see if I can cover it. Oh, I thought it fit. It's too small. You were checking to see that it's not an error link? No, I mean, it's not an error. I think it's showing the link for StreamYard because I use StreamYard so that I can stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So that link is safe. I can't vouch for other ones. I'm glad to see that you're fine. Comments are just so that everyone can see what's being said, so it's less confusing. That way, if I'm answering one comment, then you're not like, I didn't say that. What's going on? Streamlabs. What's Streamlabs like? That is actually interesting. Because this is the main one I could find that could do multiple chats at the same time. Oh, okay. I will turn the comments off for now if you want to share anything more personally. You sure? If the chat gets busy, it will get confusing if they're turned off. But the chat is not super busy, so. Okay. Deal. We have a deal. Hold on. Whoa. I completely forgot that was on. At Go 7 Pack 7. I have no idea what you're talking about, my friend. Like you lost me. This one is, I want to say this is StreamYard. What is this one? Is it Streamlabs? Oh, let me double check. Yeah, this is StreamYard. I had to double check. My mind is going to Streamlabs because that's what we're talking about. But I heard about this one on someone else's YouTube channel. How on my phone? There's an app. I literally just heard like the trippiest noise. There's an app, so you just download the app, and then you can have it on your phone just like anything else. But when it's on the phone, it can't perform at like 100% capacity because it doesn't have the same capabilities as when it's on the desktop. All you found was Streamlabs? Streamlabs is probably good too. I just don't know that much about it. The only way I found this app was somebody on YouTube was talking about how convenient it is because they can stream on multiple platforms at the same time. And I was like, oh yeah, that will be helpful. Let me try that out. And it's all right. It's just a little expensive. That's like my one gripe. It's just a little bit expensive. Yes. You are always telling me about stuff. Because I didn't even know that YouTube had the whole crown thing until you mentioned it. Is it? Okay, let me research it. And oh, okay. If you don't mind checking, I'll wait for your message then. There is a box in front of the camera. Okay. I feel like you are keeping the chat rate going, which is nice of you. Your communication though, I'm not really following 100%. I want the tofu to like not have so much moisture in it. So that way when I add the sauce, it doesn't get soggy. It's free, but you can only do one at a time unless you get the premium version. So I am making tofu right now and eggs and sweet potato and rice. I'm about to make like a protein bowl for dinner. I will have to check on the premium version, Sophie, and try and compare to what I have now. Because what I have now is nice, but it's a little bit, just a little bit expensive. You want sweet potato? Hold on. This is the sweet potato that I have. Let me cut it. Hold on. This one is a small one. But like if you notice, it's not orange in the middle, which I thought was so surprising moving here. I'm like, why is it not orange? I don't know what variety of sweet potato it is here in Japan that's popular, but it's not the orange one. Yes, I am. I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch and X. Don't get it? Okay. Well, the one I have now is expensive, so it actually might be cheaper because this one is expensive. But the thing is, I think the way that I paid for $27 a month. be cheaper than what I have. I have to go back and check. I'll let you know. In fact, let me write it down so I don't forget. I think it's cheaper than what I have. Because this one is pricey. But I was like, I really want something that can stream on multiple platforms. So I'm just going to do it. But it is nice to be able to stream on more than one platform at a time because it casts a wider net. But I think maybe like the styles that are expected on different platforms is different. I don't know. I think iShowSpeed does both YouTube and Twitch. Oh, they're personal stuff right now. You know what? I was watching a YouTuber, her name is Socially Simone, and she talks a lot about like money and how much things cost. And she was talking about like how like people were like spending like $40 to go eat out and how like it's insanely expensive. And I'm like, you know, that's insane because like here, like it's like $20 to go eat out. And I don't even know about like Walmart and stuff like that because like there's no such thing here. I mean, there's Costco, but I think that's like the closest thing that we have. But the food court's still cheap. The X account, I think it's the same thing. It's Ikigai Travelers. I can link it after the stream if I remember. I'll try and remember to link it after the live stream. No, I'm talking in general. I know you're talking about money, but I'm saying like basically inflation, like the cost of everything in general going up. Food, gas, clothes. We don't have Walmart here, so that's why I'm saying like I don't know about like the actual like things that you would buy like from Walmart besides that. But it does kind of look like prices are going up. Gas went down $3. What is it at now? Oh, that's nerve-wracking. I have a small car. I have a Mini Cooper Mini, and I can fill my tank up for like $240. Oh, heck no. Okay. That's not too bad. I was going to say, hold on now. Hold on. It cost me about $65 to fill up my gas tank here. I remember before we left, like maybe the year or so before, it was like up to like $8, and I was like, "What is this? I absolutely can't." It was almost $6. Oh my gosh. That is too much money for gas. And the other thing is, like, a lot of people in Japan, like, ride their bicycles and stuff to work and or take the train. And I don't even think, like, that's a thing in most cities in the US. Like, I don't know. I'm down to 247. I mean, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. How are people getting to work though? Like, that's very upsetting. Like, I've been hearing about things becoming more expensive, like from my family, kind of like roughly, like, but different states have different prices and stuff like that. So, but $12 a gallon is insane. Yeah. Fortunately, fortunately, it sounds like the costs are going down there. So that is good. That's crazy. I think if I almost dropped this again. If gas was $12 an hour or $12, I'm just thinking of how many hours people have to work to pay for filling up their tank. Thank you. If gas was that expensive, I think I would tell my work, like, I'm sorry, but from here on out, I'm teleworking. Like, I'm not driving into the office. Like, absolutely not. I'm gonna be working from home. I'll have my suit on top and my pajamas and my little slippers on the bottom. I'm not coming into the office. Y'all got me messed up. No, thank you. Actually, the job I had in Texas, I used to work from home for a little while. And it was nice, but I feel like it's easy to get distracted by random knickknacks around your house. I could imagine, especially if it's outside of what's normal for your area, I could see that being like a little bit scary or like nerve wracking. But I think a lot of people, yes, 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 switching topics now. Um, I think a lot of people who are in the military are thinking about protecting the community and the families that they have in the community, because everybody who's in the, well, not everybody, but most people that are in the militaries, like, you know, they have lots of people that they care about in the community that they serve. That's why they join the military. So I think that's something to keep in mind. Feel bad, everyone. I I don't know the full context because I'm not there. Um, but I would say that that's the way that I would probably look at it, but without having the full picture for your specific location and all. Oh, okay. Thanks for the heads up. I think dinner is about ready on my end. Does anybody want to share anything before I sign out? Yeah, I am aware of the shutdown, and I am aware of the shutdown, and it is impacting a lot of people, including me, in some ways. So, I think when things get tough, or like when there's a lot going on and it's affecting people, it's good to just keep it in mind to be kind to people, because no matter what, you never know what somebody is going through. So just try to have patience and love for those around you. I mean, you obviously have to assert your boundaries and all that as well, but just there may be a lot of people right now that are really going through it. And I appreciate you too, 100%. Please stay warm. Stay warm. Warm up your knees and all of that. Let me see. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, Sophie. Have a wonderful day, twin. Get some rest. Stay warm. And big hugs. Everybody else, I appreciate you for hanging out on the stream. Don't forget to subscribe so I can see you next time. And I'm out. Of course. Bye, guys.